Another lovely day on this side of the sun. My name is Nana Kwejuado, back on your screens like I never left. I promised you last week that it might be a double dose or a triple dose. But in case you don't know, this is the Ghana Women Awards. Celebrating womanhood, a key element for national development. And this is the diaries where we profile all these nominees or these women who have done outstandingly well in their various fields of endeavor. Before we delve into their profiles, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Techno, Stop at Nothing, Tasty Tom, with support from the SDGs, Labadi Beach Hotel, GH Media Schools, 12 Stages, All Media Communications, Airport West Hotel, Dani Kani Limited, Quaff Palace and Fishing Marine, with media support from Graphic Communications Group and TV3. Before we get into the profile of these amazing women that I'm going to introduce, let's take a message from the SDG Secretariat.
A famous Ghanaian once said, "If you educate a woman, you educate a nation." And I dare say that if you empower a woman and a girl, you do transform generations. Our development will indeed be lopsided and incomplete if we fail to bring on board the enterprise and the energy of our women and our girls. It is for this reason that the SDG Advisory Unit is working together with Brain Consult, TV3, and the Gender Ministry to organize this Women's Award. We welcome you this evening to another episode where we acknowledge the good works of Ghanaian women. I hope that as we listen to these stories, many will be encouraged, including men, to strive for greater heights in whatever they do, so that together we will make our nation great and strong.
Welcome back. Now let's delve into the lives of these two amazing nominees, outstanding women who've done remarkably well in their various sectors and pushing the agenda of women wherever they are. They serve as an empowering standard that most women must look up to challenge themselves. I will not talk much. Let's delve into the profile. We start off with Her Ladyship Justice Georgina Mensah-Datsa, a justice at the Appeal Court of Ghana. She's risen through the ranks to get to this level. After that, we'll delve into a beautiful story of DCFO Daniella Mawusi in Sarpong, Director of Safety at the Ghana National Fire Service. These are the profiles for today.
My normal day starts with me getting up around 4:30 a.m. I have my quiet time, take my shower, have my quick breakfast, and walk out to work. I'm Justice Georgina Mensah-Datsa. I'm a judge, a justice of the Court of Appeal. My parents are the late Mr. George Mensah and Madam Christiana Dankwa, who is still alive.
She likes reading, she likes music, and at times she likes farming. And she's very friendly to all people.
I had my earliest childhood at Teshinungwa Estate. My parents had to relocate to Bolgatanga in 1981 because my father was assigned the task of setting up the first FM station in Ghana, Yura Radio. Both parents of mine worked in GBC, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. I had my upper primary at Bolga Preparatory School. From there, I went to Bolga Girls Secondary School and completed my O-level in 1987. I had my sixth form at the Tamale Secondary School and completed in 1989. I did 2 years national service, the first year with the Judicial Service of Ghana as a court clerk, because even at that time, I had made up my mind that I would work with the Judicial Service as a career. I did my second year national service with the Secondary Takradri Metropolitan Assembly so that I get a different experience from the court. From there, I went to study law at the University of Ghana and had my LLB degree. from which I did my professional law studies at the Ghana School of Law, and I was called to the bar in 1996.
After becoming a lawyer, she was called to the bar. That day, it was mixed feeling because the father was not around.
Whilst at Bolga Girls Secondary School, I noticed that I was developing an interest in law, and the subjects I read reflected this. I have an interest in ensuring that people are treated fairly and that everybody's voice is heard. It is no wonder that my national service was with the Judicial Service of Ghana from 1989 when I finished my sixth form. I worked there as a court clerk because even at that early age, I had always known that I would be fulfilled in life working with the Judicial Service as a judge.
I recall that I had an application for adoption, and there were certain documents I was supposed to have attached to my application, but I inadvertently omitted to do so. But I was counting on our friendship and our relationship that my word would be as good as gold and she would waive that requirement in my favor. Fortunately or unfortunately, she was very strict. She did her job. She asked that I come back with a repeat application, ensuring that all my documentation was correct and properly attached. I remember that after that court hearing, I was a bit upset with her because I expected to leverage on the relationship and maybe get a dispensation. But that is her ladyship for you. When it comes to her work, she's meticulous, she's tough as nails, and she insists on having the right thing being done every time.
I worked with a private firm, Kwanzaa & Co., for a number of years to get the expertise in court practice. Whilst at Kwanzaa & Co., I devoted every Tuesday of mine working with FIDA, the International Association of Female Lawyers, doing pro bono work, helping vulnerable women solve their issues. During my career on the bench, I acquired 2 masters. One from the Harvard Law School and one from the University of Dundee, Scotland, where I did a master's in petroleum law and policy. In the year 2000, I joined the Judicial Service as a community tribunal chairperson. We were later converted to district magistrates. My first station was in Sawam, and I was transferred to Tema White House. I was promoted to the circuit bench in 2006. Whilst a circuit court judge, I was in charge of the first gender-based violence court, popularly called the Domestic Violence Court. I also worked at the Senate Saturday courts, where we worked on Saturdays dealing with Senate matters. I was also the first judge in charge of Justice for All, which dealt with the issues of prisoners, and we first sat at the Osherford prisons.
I had a case in her court when she was at the High Court. It was a criminal matter, yes, of course, because she used to sit in the criminal courts. So I had a case that went before her, and even though she knew me outside the courtroom, she treated it objectively. She applied objectivity to it. She didn't say that because she knew me outside the courtroom, maybe she will hold in my favor. No, she was very objective.
In 2011, I was promoted to the High Court bench, where I served in Sekondi and in Accra in various divisions of the courts, including the commercial courts, economic and Financial Crimes Court, the Tax Court, among other courts. In 2019, I was elevated from the High Court bench as a trial court judge to become a justice of the Court of Appeal, which is an appellate court. So at the appellate level, we sit as panels of 3, presiding over cases decided by the trial courts. For my 22 years as a judge, I've been fortunate to serve on 2 boards, the DCFO board and the adoption board. Not only because I was a judge at the Gender-Based Violence Court, but because of my training and special expertise which were necessary to help the boards function efficiently and effectively. I am a member of the faculty of the Judicial Training Institute, which trains judges and magistrates.
Her Ladyship Justice Georgina Mensah-Datsa was the first female judge to preside over the Gender-Based Violence Court when it was established by the Judicial Service of Ghana. And since then, she has been the lead trainee for all Judicial Service Training Institute's training programs that takes care of training new judges and existing judges on gender-related issues, gender and child-related issues.
I've also been a beneficiary of the training of other faculty members. I've been very active in the ADR, which is Alternative Dispute Resolution, stressing that litigation is not the only means to resolve issues. One of the most important committees I've been on is a disciplinary committee. And a very important unit is the public complaints unit. It is very important because the public needs to be aware that it is their right to complain when our service delivery as a judicial service is not as they expect. You are to complain so that the service delivers better service by way of justice to the public. To lead a balanced life, judging being a very stressful job, I've been a member of the Judicial Service Christian Fellowship and the Judges Prayer Group, which helps us in our difficult moments as all individuals do. This is very important, that as judges, we have a very balanced life which takes care of not only our physical well-being, but our emotional and spiritual well-being. It is not easy balancing your professional and personal family life. The need to excel at work and also to be a supportive partner and a parent to the children, while not forgetting your external family. The life of a judge is very stressful, so you need something to take off the stress from your life. My favorite hobbies are gardening with my mom, watching football. As you can tell, my favorite team is Man United. Sometimes I play tennis when I have the time. My vision for the service is that we live up to our name, which is that we are a judicial service serving the public, giving efficient and effective justice to them, that the perception of corruption would be minimized or even eliminated, that the nation would build its trust on the judiciary again, and that we would also deliver on our mandate and make sure that as the third arm of government, we do our work effectively so that the nation as a whole benefits.
She has been an inspiration to me and an encourager in my line of work.
And to my young ladies out there, you are specially created for a purpose. We pray that we would all be Esthers in our generation, that will fulfill the reason for which we were created, to give glory to God and make our countries better.
Her Ladyship, Justice Georgina Mensah-Datsa, now with the Appeal Courts Kumasi. Ladies and gentlemen, second part of the profile, the Director of Safety, DCFO Daniella, Mawusi in Sarpong. Let's get into her.
During the early days of 2022, we had upsurge in fire outbreaks and there was hue and cry in this country. As Director Fire Safety, she did not sit down. She went into action and planned a series of fire safety activities. And I can confidently say that from an upsurge of 1,300 fire incidents in the month of January, it dropped to 700 in February, another 700 in March, 400 in April. And so such is the nature and the attitude of the woman we are talking about, Deputy Chief Fire Officer Mawusi Sarpong.
My name is Daniella Mawusi into Sarpong, Deputy Chief Fire Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service and the Director of Fire Safety. I am the last born of the late lawyer Francis Golo, a former senior lecturer and lawyer for the KNUST, and the late Mrs. Anapoku of blessed memory, who was also born to KJT Apoku, also of blessed memory. I have 4 kids. I attended KNUST Primary School, later went to City of Kumasi Preparatory School, and continued to the St. Monica Skills Senior High School. From there, I continued in 89 to 91 at the KNUST, where I did a diploma in estate management. I had my 1-year service at the Lands Commission Secretariat, where I was doing in charge of inspections, writing inspection reports, and assisting in documentation of land. I was inspired to join the Ghana National Fire Service when late 92, we had a fire outbreak in our house. Their attitude towards the putting out of the fire and how quickly they got to the house, it really inspired me. And I had the passion to join the fire service to also help save life and property. So after my national service in 92, I applied to be enlisted as an officer cadet in the service. I was enlisted, and that's I started my career. I went for training and came out as an assistant divisional officer. I worked in Kumasi City Council Fire Station for 1 year. And then I was transferred to the headquarters at Chapatre as the regional estate officer for the service.
Madame is a gem. She doesn't play with her work. She will play with you all right, but if you come to work.
She's very disciplinarian and will discipline you if she finds you sleeping on your job.
Around the year 2000, I was transferred to Accra to act as the National Estate Officer, Assistant Director in charge of estates. After a while, within the same year, I was transferred as a watch room officer at Dansuman Fire Station. I was with Dansuman Fire Station for a while and later transferred to Nungwa Fire Station. In 2004, I was brought back to the headquarters as the Deputy Director, Logistics. Acted briefly as the Director of Logistics, and later I was made the Deputy Director in charge of estates. Around 2009, I was transferred to be the Assistant District Officer for Ladyship Municipal. Later on, I was transferred to Medina in 2009, where I was the Municipal Fire Officer. I was promoted around the same time, around 2011, and I was transferred back to the headquarters with the rank of Assistant Chief Fire Officer to act as the Director Human Resource for the service. In 2015, I was transferred to the Volta region, and as the first regional female commander, I willingly went to the Volta region and served there from 2015 to 2018.
When she was there, the regional command did not have an adequate residency. She was able to secure a residency for the regional commander, which was a very big achievement because it was like regional commanders always had to go look for places. She secured the place, not just securing it, but ensured that the place was walled, well furnished, and kept very well for the fire service.
I was promoted and I had to come back to the headquarters as a assistant director for welfare. In 2021 December, I was transferred to be the director of fire safety. And this is where I've been till now.
And for me, her leadership skills is top-notch. I admire how she works, and her attitude towards work is remarkable.
She's very hardworking, very punctual when it comes to work.
Knowing her attitude and commitment to work, I had to even change my location because she comes to work very early in the morning, knowing what she's about. And believe you me, when she took over, we started seeing fire occurrences declining because she started engaging inter-engagement and intra-engagement.
I've learned one thing about this woman, and I like her so much. She always supports you. She always teaches you what you should know, and then she always allows you to explore. And that's one thing I like about her.
She has really changed the face of fire safety, and then also she's the first female fire safety director in the fire service that we have had.
When I was the regional commander for Volta region, within a year, I opened 10 district and municipal fire stations within the region. And I helped in solving issues involving Alavanyo and Nkonya at the Regional Security Council. Not only that, as Director of Welfare, I really took care of my officers and men.
And she has taken care of a lot of people aside her biological children, because she says that she has a saying in Chi that Obi nim dobesho obi echina, so yedi echijija. And she says that she learned this from her grandparents, so she also learned this from her.
In fact, she has inspired a lot of ladies in the service to further their education. And I must say that I am proud because I just graduated from GIMPA with a master's degree in occupational health and safety.
I've looked up to her in so many ways that she inspired me to be the person that I am now and looking up to be in future.
And you know, kaminye juma. Orina encourage me na minye juma na ndemi so mika microphone.
As a director of safety now, I've almost hit my target for the year. The internal generated fund, I've clocked almost 85% already. So hopefully by September, I hope to clock 100%. And I think this is a great achievement.
She is on top of her job. She is a top-notch woman, a very strong woman, an achiever, and results-oriented woman.
So she's on top of her job, and her appointment as the safety director has brought a lot of innovations and is paying a lot.
And her mother figure in the house and at the workplace has actually transcended into what she has achieved so far.
Men would want to take control, but as a woman, I try as much as possible to stand on my foot when we have discussions. And at times, what I say, they seem to agree with me, and then we move on.
And I'm hoping to see her as the first female chief fire officer in the Ghana National Fire Service.
She has been helping a lot of people, whether she knows you or not. She has been doing her best.
I can vividly remember there was a day I went to her office. It was this lady who came for self-employment or something. And then, in fact, the way the lady was talking, she was looking at the lady quietly. Tears started dropping from the lady's eye, and I was crying as well. And then she said no, she has to get up and go and see her chief. So she went to see the chief. And the chief told her to assist the lady, and of course, she did.
So every morning, on weekends, When I have nowhere going, I go for a walk with my children to exercise ourselves. Exercise is very good. So as a career woman, I hardly have time with the family. So the least chance I get during the weekends, I love playing Scrabble. So you play Scrabble to while away and reduce the stress. My advice to the Ghanaian female youth is to carry themselves out there well. They should upgrade themselves in whatever field they are in. And by so doing, they can attain the heights that they wish to attain.
Madam, I could keep going higher and higher. The sky is not just the limit. You will go beyond the sky. Thank you.
And that's what Ghana Women Awards is all about. We're celebrating womanhood, those who are doing outstandingly well, those who are making marks, making strides, and making the impact. And that's what this is all about. Empowering women for that matter. A key element for national development. Before we jump into the fun zone with Kafui, who's standing by, let me say thank you to Techno, Stop at Nothing, Tasty Tom, with support from SDGs, GH Media Schools, Labadi Beach Hotel, 12 Stage, All Media Communications, Airport West Hotel, Danny Kani Limited, Crafts Place, and Fishing Marine, and also with our media support, Graphic Communications Group, and TV3. Kafui, if you're ready, let's go.
Welcome to the Fan Zone. Today we have Her Ladyship, Madam Georgina Mensah-Datsa, and DCFO Daniella Mawusi. Welcome. Let's start with Her Ladyship. Her Ladyship, mention 3 female ministers in the current government.
Esla Owusu, Cecilia Dapa, and Hawa Kumsin.
Impressive. Now let's go back memory lane, Her Ladyship. Can you recite any nursery rhyme that you remember?
Black, black, black sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir, master. 3 bags full. 1 for the master, 1 for the day. 1 for the little boy who lives now in the place.
It's quite refreshing to see Her Ladyship reciting nursery rhymes, is it not? Now let's move back to Madam Daniella and see what she has for us. Who is your favorite female artist?
Jackie.
Can you give us a freestyle of any of her songs?
My love day for you. My heart day for you.
Oh, I like your dance moves, Madam Mawusi. Then to the final question. Recite 1 nursery rhyme that you remember from your childhood.
Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, Mr. 3 bags full. 1 for the master, 1 for the day, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Meh, meh.
Amazing! Meh, meh. Did you know that was part of the rhyme? I never knew. Oh my days. This brings us to the end of today's Fan Zone. I am Kafui Kwachijo. Hope to see you next week. Bye.
The Ghana Women Awards 2023 is brought to you by Techno, Stop at Nothing, Tasty Tom, and supported by Labadi Beach Hotel, Airport West Hotel, GH Media Schools, Graphic Communications Group Limited, 12 Stage, All Media Communications, TV3, and SDGs. All right, thank you so much, Kafui, for that. Of course, here on the show, we push you to do things that you would not do on an ordinary day. If you love what I'm wearing, it's from Optius Creations. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook and on all social media platforms and order something nice. A kaftan, a political suit, a suit proper, they've got you covered. Call them today for something amazing. My name is Nana Kwejuado. Live the life you love the life you live, and keep your mind running positive. And remember, we're celebrating womanhood, a key element for national development. Have a great day.